Hi guys, so in today's video I am going to be reviewing two of my favorite concealers. That is the the Too Faced Born This Way concealer and the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Concealer. Okay, so the Too Faced one has always been my favorite because it's got full coverage, it blends very easily, and it's mattifying and everything. So I love this. I've been using this for quite some time now, and honestly it has been my go-to for a very long time. Now this is a new baby that has just come in. So it's the Airbrush Flawless. Both concealers claim to be long lasting, they're meant to last all day. That's both of them, and both claim to have full coverage. So what today I'm doing is I'm going to do one side of the face with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush, and then the one side of the face with the Born This Way concealer, so we can compare and see whichever one lasts better, whichever one blends better, and whichever one suits my skin tone better. Now I was trying to find, as you can clearly see, the shade is very similar, very similar, but I think the Charlotte Tilbury one is slightly lighter than the other because I couldn't find the shade to be exactly the same. I was looking for exact shade but I couldn't find it, so this is the closest that I could find. So in the Born This Way, that is in shade Butterscotch, and then the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Blurring Concealer, that is in the shade 11 Tan. So I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury on this side of my face, and then I'm going to use the Born This Way concealer on the left side of my face. Now as you can see, my face is pre-done. I've already done all the cream blush and the cream contour, so I'm just gonna, the next step basically is to do the concealer. So I'm going to go in to do both sides and just compare and contrast and see which one works better really. So starting with the Charlotte Tilbury one, I'm just gonna, again we are going to compare in the applications as well. So as you can see, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush one. The application stick is a little bit flat, so I'm guessing it'll be easier application. So I'm just gonna start with one side, as I said. So I'm just gonna do one side of my chin, and then one side of my under eye, like so, one side of my forehead, and then a side just to lift. So as you can see, the Charlotte Tilbury one is a little bit bright, and I do like a bright under eye, so I'm not really complaining. So we're just gonna do like so. I'm going to be using the same amount of each product so that we can get a very good comparison. So I'm gonna go with my Born This Way concealer in the shade Butterscotch. So I'm just gonna go. Okay, so in terms of application, I think I would prefer the Charlotte Tilbury one for the simple fact that it's a lot flatter than this one. That's just my preference anyway. I don't know about this, that's just my preference. It's a lot easier to apply that. As you can see, it's very seamless on here. It's just easy to apply that. So I'm just gonna, I want to put this on a brush before I apply on my face, but I'm just gonna go in direct because I did go in direct with the Charlotte Tilbury one. So I'm just gonna go in directly to apply this on the face as well. So I'm just gonna do that on that side. Okay, so already you can see there's a bit of shade difference. I think the Born This Way one is coming a little bit orangey. I'm gonna go ahead and do my forehead on the other side of my forehead as well. But I think the Born This Way one is a lot creamier than the Charlotte Tilbury one, I must say. It feels very creamier. This has been my all-time go-to. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna be using exactly the same brush to blend on each side, and then I'm gonna finish it up, well, blend it properly with the beauty blender, but I'm gonna start blending it with exactly the same brush. So I'm just gonna blend the Charlotte Tilbury one all the way first. I usually like to blend, well, set my under eyes last. So I'm just gonna go in on my forehead first. Okay, so the Charlotte Tilbury one is meant to have this stretch technology, and I think it's really working because it is a little bit, it's going a very long way. So I do believe in that stretch technology. It's definitely doing something, definitely. And then I'm just gonna go and then blend my under eye. Okay, and then using the same clean brush, I'm gonna blend in my bone this way on this side. Okay, so this is also definitely full coverage, but as you can clearly see, the Charlotte Tilbury one does go out a bit more. It's a lot more, you get more coverage than the bone this way concealer. Clearly you can see one side, the Charlotte Tilbury one is actually extending out of my face, my chin, and then this one has stayed, the bone this way one has stayed right under my chin. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and blend in my forehead. I'm just trying to blend it all together so I don't look. Okay, so in terms of coverage, I can say they are definitely both full coverage, but in terms of stretchiness, definitely the Charlotte Tilbury one has definitely got more stretch than the bone this way multi-purpose sculpting. So I'm just going to finish in blending in with my beauty blender on each side. Okay, so now clearly you can see the difference. I think, well actually, I'm not even going to go by what I think. I'm going to leave that with you guys to let me know what your thoughts are on these two at the end. Let me know which one that you'll be going for. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off blending with my damp beauty blender. So I'm just going to blend out the Charlotte Tilbury side first. Okay, and again, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but the Charlotte Tilbury one is very blaring. So it does exactly what it says. It's definitely blaring. You can see the difference. This side is very, very blurred. Even the one on my forehead, you can see that this side is very, very blurred. And then also on my chin as well. So it has definitely got the elastic technology and it's definitely blaring and it's definitely full coverage. Wow. I'm not sure, but I can definitely see looking in my mirror that this side of my face is definitely more blurred than the other side of my face. Okay, so with that blended in, I'm going to go on to use a different beauty blender to blend the other side of my face. Again, the Bond This Way concealer is definitely full coverage, but not as blaring as the Charlotte Tilbury one, and again, not as stretchy as the Charlotte Tilbury one. But the Bond This Way has always been my go-to. I've been using this for years, and it's been one of my favorite concealers of all time. Okay, so that is both concealers all blended in. I'm going to finish the rest of my face off camera, and then we're going to compare it with everything set with powders and everything put on top, and then we will do the final review. Okay, so this is the finished look. We'll turn to the side so you can see. So this side is the Charlotte Tilbury one, and this side is the Too Faced Bond This Way side. I like both actually, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Let's get talking in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye.